Alrighty, so in this video I'm going to be giving you an overview of the evolution of my workshop and my woodworking. So at first I had an idea to make one of these rustic American flags. So my dad, being a carpenter and a woodworker himself, said, yeah, I'll help you out and we'll make this first one. It was just going to be for ourselves and we were going to hang it up. So we built the first one and some friends and family started coming over and they started noticing it. And they started asking for some, and I said, yeah, sure, I love making these and I'll get more practice. So I started making these and just giving them away or selling them for real cheap, not really making any money. And I started realizing that I could eventually start making money from this. So I still kept making them and giving them away or just selling them for real cheap. And as you see in these pictures, my workshop is slowly evolving from a couple horses to, maybe 2 sets of horses, or a table and some plywood, and I just slowly kept evolving and growing and working on my process, as you can see in these pictures here. As time went on, I kept buying more material, buying more wood, and kept upgrading and upgrading my shop to what it is now. So you'll see shortly some recordings of me going over what my workshop is now and how I plan to evolve it. So as you just saw, when I first started woodworking, I didn't have much. I had a couple of tables and maybe a few horses. I was working with limited tools and limited space. So then as I kept woodworking more, I started wanting more tools and more space. And I kept evolving and kept being thrifty on where I got my material. Because I'm in high school, I didn't have a lot of money, so I was thrifty. I got my parents to help me. I would get free material from my dad because he was a carpenter, so he'd tear out 2x4s that weren't good enough for his jobs, but were perfect for me because they were just going in my garage. So they were perfectly fine structurally, so I just threw them up. And we just kept evolving my workshop to what it is today. And I still have plans to keep upgrading it and to keep making it better, so my work area is more efficient and there's less clutter. So recently I rearranged this whole area where I was working to try to reinvent the flow of the shop and how it worked, since I have a pretty small area to work with. So I recently just put this miter saw up on 2 horses and some 4x4s. It's a little rough right now, but I plan on building a whole cabinet for this to sit on, and then we'll have an even plane for this so I can lay boards across. I have a table saw here, and then I have the dust collector there. One problem with having a 2-car garage and having to share it with my mom, she wants to park her car in here. So I'm limited to this half of the garage. So I have to sacrifice my car from being inside, and I have to put my shop here. So to deal with having limited space in my garage, I've had to implement many changes to help save on space. So one of the first things I added was this workbench over here. So it used to not extend all the way around like it does now. It used to be cut off right here. So from here over, I had my workbench and it's still there, still being used. And then as time went on, I eventually installed this material rack. And we had some old shelving here that really wasn't doing the job anymore. It didn't have very much space, or wasn't very strong. So we ended up tearing that all out and replacing it with what you see here. It's really nice because it has 3 shelves, and then the bottom one I'm able to use as a workbench or store tools. So working in essentially a 1-car garage has definitely sparked my creativity and makes me use my organization skills a lot. Because I have to make sure everything's in place, in order, otherwise it gets very cluttered very fast and then I have a hard time doing anything. So down here in my basement is my final work area. So this is where I do my staining, painting, and now I have my CNC machine set up down here. So what I like about the basement is I'm able to stain down here and paint down here, dust free and weather free. So whether it's super hot out or super cold out, I'm still gonna have that same consistent temperature where I'm able to efficiently stain down here. And now with my CNC down here, I'm able to do this too, whether it's hot or cold. So I'm gonna build an enclosure for this and make many more videos on that. So as you can see, I have definitely been doing a lot of staining and painting on this table the last year or 2. So I have some CNC stuff right there that needs to get set up. I've got some miscellaneous projects over here that I've done, some extra flags, some paint stains, and more miscellaneous tools. My main toolbox, and here are a whole bunch of spray paints. Onefinity boxes, more tools and shelving, and then my Onefinity. So this has a lot more work to do and a lot more videos coming out. So stay tuned for that. Alrighty, I want to thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe.